Hello and welcome to the Betty PT Be Skinny program. Today I just want to show you a quick shopping haul that I did. Now I've just come back from holiday, so I had no food in the house. The family was complaining, so this is like, I wouldn't necessarily buy this much usually. I actually have a bit of a ritual. So after I teach classes, at a gym, I would go to the local supermarket and I'll just pick up a few things there, and then I go to the farmer's market, and then I go to, so in other words, I don't really go out of my way to go to a supermarket. I usually just incorporate it in what I do. So if I am going teaching class, the supermarket's right near where I park, I just pop into the supermarket and pick up a few things. And this was, for me, it was a big haul. You probably think, how does she feed her family? It's probably not enough, but I think, for us, it's great. So, and I'm going to show you exactly how much I spent. And this is, I'm just showing you the food that I bought, because I bought non-food items as well. So, like cat food, for instance. Cat food, there's a lot of cat food in there too, because our cat would be very upset if I didn't buy him food. So, and I'm not even taking that out of the price. I'm going to show you the total price. So having a look at what I've bought, you can see there that I have my fresh fruit and veg. It was interesting because the local grocery, or the fruit and veg market, which is right next to the supermarket, they're supposed to close at 7, so I went in nice and early, like as early as I could, at 6 o'clock. And they started closing everything, so I could only get a few things from the fruit and veg. I wanted to get more because I also like to support, the independent as well. But they were closing up, so they were putting everything away. So if you can see there, I bought my celery because I so needed a juice after being on a cruise for 8 days. I just wanted my celery and apple juice. So I have celery, apple and ginger. It is just so refreshing, and it gives you a nice uplift. It just feels amazing. I bought my kale to make my kale chips. Bananas, goes without saying, kids love them, and bananas are just incredible. I buy a lot. Like I had a friend coming over before we left to go on holiday, and he just looked at how many bananas, and they were just food we had, and he just said, there's a lot of food. There's a lot of food. But bananas, I'm not afraid to buy a lot of, because if we don't eat them, I freeze them and I make an ice cream, and the family loves it. So bananas, I just go for it. And so if I feel like something sweet as well, bananas, absolutely fine. I bought my red capsicum because I wanted to make my cheesy sauce. So I was out with the mission to buy red capsicum, because I do roast it myself. I don't usually get the ones from the jars, because they've got a lot of sugar in them, or preservative. So although that would be easier for me, just because it's filled with that, I just threw it in the oven. And whilst I threw it in the oven to make the cheesy sauce, what I also did with the cherry tomatoes that you can see there, with most of the cherry tomatoes I popped in my salad, but with the remaining cherry tomatoes I cut in half and put them into roast as well, because they're really flavorful, just to add on salads or whatever. It just tastes amazing. So, and then I just store them in the fridge. Now you can see in the front, right in the front, I bought some cheap mushrooms. Now those mushrooms are usually really expensive, and I saw them cheap, and I just went, I'll have those, thank you very much, because I bake those straight away and I pop them in the jar, so they will not be in that container for days. I basically did it like that night. I bought them and I used them that night. So I'm like, well, instead of spending, I think it's like $6 that I usually pay for mushrooms, because I like to buy the exotic mushrooms rather than just the normal button mushrooms. But I like to mix it up. I like to buy different mushrooms. And why not? Carrots, absolute staple. Broccoli, kids love broccoli pasta, so that's something that they can eat. But broccoli, again, chop it up, steam it up. And pears for the children, because they seem to be more in season. You can always tell what's in season because it's just cheaper. So I'm not going to spend, $7 on apples unless they're just rare apples, but it's usually what's in season that's cheaper and just looks better. So it's not only about what the price is, but what it looks like. You can tell if it's in season or if it's not. So the other thing that you can see there is the lettuce. So I've got the lettuce to make my nice big salads. Now again, the fridge was empty, so I wanted to top up with some mixed vegetables, frozen vegetables and peas. Having those in the fridge are really good and handy. I mean, I'm not going to use them for a while, but that's the whole point. If I run out of veggies or if I need veggies, they're a really quick fix. You can just take them out, sticking them in the microwave or add them to a dish, nice and simple. So I think I've covered everything there, and let's have a look. Oh yes, my figs. So I also got some Greek figs, and they're from Kalamata, and they are amazing. So if you come across any figs from Kalamata, I highly recommend them. And you can have figs, 1 or 2, absolutely. Just keep it to a minimum. Yep. The one thing I like about these Kalamata figs is they're preservative free. That is so important, because if you look at most other dried fruits full of sulfites and just, not that great. So moving on, I mean, it helps prolong the lifespan, so I suppose it's great for that. Moving on to the prunes. So again, I love these prunes. They're Aussie prunes and they are preservative free. So if you see these prunes, they're the ones to get. And have a look at the back. I mean, I always look at ingredients, and so I bet supermarkets, like I'm talking of big chains, I bet they do an analysis on people and how they shop, and that's how then they, do all their shelves. I mean, I'm sure they do psychological analyses on, and they've got cameras everywhere, so they can easily do that. I mean, I don't know that they do that, but I would be surprised if they don't do that. And I just keep thinking when I'm in the aisles, I just sit there staring at the ingredients. I'm thinking, I bet they're looking at me going, what is she doing? What is she looking for? And I'll tell you exactly what I'm looking for. So, number one, I'm looking to see that the food is whole, as in the figs, they're whole. There's no preservatives. I mean, they've been they've been dried out, yes, but that's about it. That's the whole fruit there. Same with the prunes, that's the whole fruit there. Another thing I really look at, other than, checking to see what the ingredients are and checking to see if there are any codes or any other fillers, preservatives, additives, I look to see, and you'll see it here now, how Australian it is. So my oats, I just get plain oats that are all Australian as I can, but the Greek figs, we don't have figs. We do have figs, but I can't find dried figs that are Australian. I'm sure that if I went to Ceres or somewhere like that, I'd find them, but figs tend to usually be from the Mediterranean. So that's what I look for. I look for no preservatives, no colorings, no additives, and how Australian it is. Just like to support our country. And I also look at the quality of the fruit. So you see the nice pears there, nice cherry tomatoes, the really nice capsicum, they looked amazing. The bananas you probably notice are slightly green, and that's because I had other bananas. This is the other bunch that I added to my existing bunch. And my daughter actually said, oh, Mum, they're green, why are you buying green bananas? I said, because we've got the other bananas. And so, these will be fine in a couple of days by the time we eat them. Oh, the cabbage. So I got the purple cabbage. Fantastic. Purple's a great colour to mix in with your food. So if you see anything that's purple, beetroot, cabbage, great thing to mix in. Fresh plums. Fantastic. The cauliflower I got specifically to make got the cheesy sauce. I was out on a mission to get the cheesy sauce. Now you won't see the other ingredients because I mean they're already kept in the cupboard for the cheesy sauce, like the onion powder, lemons. I actually have a lemon tree, so I just go outside and pick a lemon, nice and easy. And the smoked paprika, I've got loads of that, and also the nutritional yeast. So I've got a whole bag of that, and that lasts me a fair while. So it's not like you have to go buy those things all the time. You know, I've got a shopping list, I stick to the shopping list, and that's about it. The other two things that I have is the canned tomatoes. So good to have a couple of those as you know, handy in the pantry in case you need to make something quick. They're a really good ingredient. And what I look here is country of, is it a product of Australia, country of origin, and I also look at what else they've added, because you'll find a lot of times they add thickeners, they add fillers, they add salts. And even with these ones, I wasn't too impressed. I mean, I was and I wasn't, you know, sort of borderline, that it had juice, tomato juice. I just wanted crushed tomatoes or diced tomatoes. That's all I wanted. So, look, I'm not unhappy, but I would have been happy if it was just the plain fruit. And I'm just going to show you a quick video of the salad I started making, to show you all the colours, and then I just topped that up with some nice lettuce. So then I've got my salads ready. Yay! Cruise was great, but you know, I just wanted my food, clean food. So let me show you the bill. So I could only spend $15.72 at the fruit and veg store. As I said, I wanted to spend more, I wanted to buy more there, but they were closing, even though it was like 6:30. I hope I'm not going to get anybody into trouble. But they're like, why are you closing up? You've still got another half an hour. And the amount that I spent at the supermarket, sorry, I folded there because there's a lot of my personal information on the receipt. $62.04. Now, this includes, as I said, cat food and everything else. So there were a lot of non-food products that I purchased. But what you can see there, which is pretty good, is the GST. Now, this is an important factor. I actually use this to track how well I'm doing. So I'm aiming to have as minimal GST as I possibly can. It's not that I don't want to give GST to anyone or I don't want to pay GST. No, because GST means that the food is processed somewhat. So if you can try and limit that amount, then, you know, you're sort of going, I only spent $1.30 on GST. So, you know, all in all, what I've purchased is pretty whole, and that is fantastic. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this and got a bit of a glimpse of what I buy. I'm not saying buy this, I'm just giving you an example of what you can buy. And, you know, I just aim for a lot of fresh produce, and you just see the colours, they're just amazing. And you just want to eat it, and you feel good after you've eaten it. You don't finish eating thinking, oh, I feel so bloated, or I feel so like sluggish, or I feel like I'm going to sleep. There's none of that. You are sharp and really good with this food. So, and you just feel good about it, like you really do. And I tell you what, when you start eating like this, people around you do start noticing, by the way, and they go, oh, what's that you're eating? And it is a good conversation point. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video, and it's Betty PT signing out.